Ganesh, start. Nitin, you may start.
Good morning,
Good morning,
friends, and thank
everyone.
you very much for joining in the passive investment space. Nitin, you start.
Good morning, everyone. So this particular session is on ETFs and how you can invest in passively managed mutual fund schemes. So what are ETFs? Most of you all must be aware. These are normal mutual fund schemes which get listed on exchange and traded on exchange at a price which is close to its real-time NAV. And now there are a lot of ETFs which are available in market: Nifty, Gold ETF, Bharat 22 ETF, Next 50 ETF. So a lot of products around ETFs are available in market as of today's date. Globally, it's a very big market. Globally, around 5,000 billion market which is there. And in India also, we have seen in last 10-15 years, there's a huge growth which has happened in ETF side. Currently, the market is around 1 lakh 80 to 2 lakh crore which market which is there currently in India. And majorly EPFOs and HNI investors, institutions, they invest in these particular schemes. Retail participation is there, but retail participation is not in a massive way, which should have happened. And that is just because the awareness is not that much in India as of now. So the idea of this session is to make you aware about the ETF products which are available in the market, and specifically ICICI Prudential ETFs which are available in market. So Sham, if you could just change the slide number 5. Hello, Sham. If you could change the slide, go to slide number 5. So this is a framework which basically signals us that it is the right time to buy, where we see currently the valuations are reasonable as compared to which it were. We see the business cycle is already bottomed out. The capacity utilization is very low. Credit growth is low. There are triggers that global and domestic economy will recover in near future, and the market sentiments are negative, whereby a lot of people are actually panicked and are not investing in market. So it shows generally that it's time to invest in equity market, and you can invest through various schemes. If you go to next slide, Sham. So at ICICI Prudential, we have around 12 to 13 ETFs which we have, which is Nifty, broad market based Nifty, Sensex ETF, Next 50 ETF, Nifty 100, Mid Cap 150. So there is ETF in every category, which is large cap, mid cap, multi cap, which is like ICICI 500. Then we have theme based high beta products like bank ETF, private bank ETF, which are good product for the investors. Then we also have smart beta products, which is Nifty low vol ETF. Then commodity based is gold ETF, and that product is liquid ETF, whereby in liquid ETF investors can park their idle money which is lying in trading account. They can use as an investment avenue for it, and they can use it for margin. So the products which we are going to recommend as of now based on the risk and return basket. So currently we are going to recommend you Nifty low vol, which is a smart beta product. Of course, we'll go in detail in those products subsequently. But Nifty low vol, Nifty 50, BSE 500, and Next 50. These are the 4 products which we'll like to recommend you as of now. So what is Nifty? Take it simply. Nifty 50 is an index that represents the weighted average of 50 Indian companies diversified across 17 sectors. So these are flagship companies of NSE. If you see what is Nifty 50 is, these are the largest companies. These are the blue chip companies. It reflects Indian stock market, and this is widely used as a benchmark for all mutual fund schemes. So as such, this is a no-brainer product. Anyone who is new to investment, who doesn't understand equity market, it's a simple product whereby people should invest in this product. A lot of HNI investors who invest in these products, institutions invest in this product, and would recommend to retail investors also to invest in these products. It's a no-brainer. There is no research, stock research is required. It is highly diversified, and you are just buying blue chip companies of India. If you see these sectors also, the sectors and top holdings of Nifty, you have Reliance Industries, you have HDFC Bank, you have HDFC, and across all sectors, this is diversified. Then the next product is Nifty Next 50. Nifty Next 50 is basically 50 stocks after Nifty 50. These are also large cap companies. These are possible contenders of inclusion to Nifty 50. So if this industry grows, then this become part of Nifty ETF basket. And if you see, these are also highly diversified, and these are also large cap products. It represents largest company that are potential contenders to the Nifty 50, and these are relatively less concentrated exposure to any one sector, so it is diversified also. This is Nifty Next 50. With the expense ratio of Nifty ETF is 0.05. That is what AMC charge. That is cost to cost is basically given to investors, which is very nominal. Nifty Next 50, the expense ratio is 0.15%, which is very low as compared to any of the active ETFs, active fund. If you compare it with, it's a very low cost product. Then next product what I'll recommend you is Nifty Low Vol ETF, Nifty Low Vol 30 ETF. Nifty Low Vol 30 ETF, it's a smart beta concept. What is smart beta concept? It's basically an active strategy in a passive form. So what this strategy does is, this identifies low volatile 30 stocks among the large cap 100 stocks. From the database of 100 stocks, it will identify 30 stocks out of them, out of the inverse, and based on that we will buy the stocks. If you would see, as of now, these are very low volatile stocks which we have is Hindustan Lever, Nestle, Cipla. These are the some of the stocks which are there in the basket, and this is also well diversified among the top 100 stocks. So it's a factor based. Basically, when you call a smart beta, it's basically a factor based ETF. So what happens is, there are these high volatile stocks. In bull market, these high volatile stocks basically they perform well, but in bear market they also fall more than what they have. So it's basically, the idea is to invest in some stable stocks or a low volatile stocks you could solve. That's the idea. Is Nifty Low Vol ETF. Next is Nifty 500, which we have recommended. What is Nifty 500? Nifty 500 is basically 500 first 500 stocks among the BSE 500 stocks, and it's a broad-based representation of Indian market, and it covers almost 80% is a large cap, which is Nifty 100 covers 80% of the portfolio, and balance then you get some exposure to mid cap and small cap, which is 15 and 5%. So basically you are buying a large cap with some exposure to this mid cap and small cap. So your risk is very minimal on those particular stocks. If you see, these stocks are well diversified, as good as you are buying market in this. There is enough liquidity on such in these products, and we'll recommend you to buy these stocks. If you see return wise, if you compare in all these 4 stocks, if you go to next slide. So return, if you could see, which I have already told you, where we are recommending Nifty Low Vol 30, which we are recommending. It has, in falling market, it has outperformed Nifty and Nifty Next 50 as well as Nifty 500. In 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, in all the years, if you could see, it has outperformed Nifty and Nifty Next 50 as well as a broader market. So we will recommend you to buy the smart beta ETF product. If you see, in 1 year it has given -5%, -9% return. In 3 years it has given 5%. 5 years it has given 8% return, and 10 years it has given 11%. So it has outperformed in every market. It has outperformed Nifty. So as good as whenever the Nifty becomes volatile, Nifty Low Vol ETF will outperform Nifty, and that's the reason we will recommend this smart beta ETF to the investors. Ganesh, can we take Q&A?
So there are some questions that we have received.
Hmm.
The first question is Nifty ETF same or different AMC? Is Nifty ETF of Nippon and ICICI same? and why should I choose one AMC over the other?
Nifty, if you invest in any of the ETFs, it will generally, they all replicate the index itself. So there is, if Nifty gives you a 10% return, ETF will also give you a 10% return. You should buy ETFs which are low in cost and highly liquid you can buy. So if you buy Nippon on any other AMC, you will get the same return.
Okay. So the next question is, what is the past average returns of all the ETFs that you have recommended?
So we have already given you 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year return in this.
Can you please explain gold ETF?
Okay. Any specific thing which you want to know in gold ETF? See, gold
There's a question.
ETF. Huh?
There's no specific this thing. You can just
Okay.
give a general.
Gold ETF, my personal recommendation is, last month a lot of people have bought gold ETF. Gold ETF is trading at a premium as of now in market. Still that premium is there. In some premium is available there in market. In the month of February, March, the gold was trading at a discount of 3%, 2.5 to 3%. And in the month of April, it was trading at a premium of 2.5% to 3%, which was trading. So gold ETF, and that's because of the lockdown. If you see lockdown is there, mining companies are closed, import is closed, banks are closed, gold is not available, and it's the premium is just because of the lockdown. This premium, once the market opens, this premium has to come down. If you compare the NAV or the trading price of any of these gold ETF which were trading last month and current month, this premium has come down. So we'll recommend you not to buy aggressively, buy in smaller quantities. Gold, ample of gold will be available once the lockdown is open, and then you can evaluate that product.
So the next question is from Rishi Raj. He's asking, what is the difference between index fund and ETF funds, and which is better for investment?
Index funds are basically like normal mutual fund schemes where you get day and NAV. ETFs, you can buy it a real time, just like stock market. Index fund, the expense ratio are generally higher as compared to Nifty ETFs, and their tracking error is also a bit higher than Nifty ETFs. I would recommend always buy Nifty ETFs. ETFs is better than index product.
One more question we have is, what are the charges for entering and exiting an ETF, and are there any lock-in periods for the same?
There is no entry or exit load on ETFs. These are open-ended schemes. These are traded on exchange. You can buy it anytime and sell it during market hours. There are no locking charges. There are just AMC charges which will be applicable and which are very nominal. If you see, our Nifty ETF is 5 basis point, 0.05, which is as good as nothing, as good as cost to cost. Nifty Next 50 is 0.015%. So these are very low cost products.
So coming to the cost, Mr. Narayan is asking, are there any trailing commissions on ETF?
No, ETFs are generally similar to direct schemes of mutual fund. SEBI doesn't permit us to pay incentivized distributors in ETFs, and these are very low cost products. If you see normal mutual fund, it is 2.5% is the expense ratio which they charge, but in ETFs it is just 5 basis point which is charged. So there is no scope of paying any brokerage to the distributors.
Mr. Sundeep Singh is asking, I have around 10 lakhs to invest. Should I invest in Nifty ETF?
So I would recommend you could invest in some amount, 25% in Nifty, 25% in low wall, or 30% in low wall, 30% in Nifty, and balance you can invest in BSE 500. So major portion you can give it to Nifty, I would suggest, and then Nifty low wall ETF.
How liquid are these funds? How liquid are these ETF? And can I redeem them without any charges?
Yes, all these ETFs are very liquid. You can buy, sell it on exchange. There are market makers, investors. These are highly liquid. You can buy it. If anywhere you get stuck up, you can get in touch with us also. We can provide liquidity. So we ourselves, we also give liquidity to the investors on exchange. So liquidity should not be a concern.
Are there any sector specific ETFs?
There are sector specific. If you see in one of my presentation I had given, we have bank ETF and private bank ETF. private bank ETF we would recommend, but those are high beta stocks, very concentrated portfolio which has. But if someone likes high beta, huge return, fast return, if they are looking at something better return, then these are the schemes which you can look at. So banking ETF, if you say 30-35% is HDFC. So your HDFC, Axis, Kotak Bank, ICICI Bank put together is a major portion of the weightages. So those ETFs one can look at.
Miss Monica is asking, is Nifty 100 low volatility a large cap ETF, and how different are the underlying stocks in this ETF compared to Nifty 50?
It's a large cap ETF. Nifty 50 is first 50 stocks. Nifty low vol 30 ETF, it takes 30 stocks from Nifty 100. So these are low volatile stocks. So it's a smart beta product. It's a strategy. It identifies 30 low volatile stocks from Nifty 100. So it's a large cap blue chip stocks which are included in this index.
Next question is from Mr. Harshad. He's asking, what would be a recommendation in ETF based on the current market scenario?
See, our current recommendation is these 4 schemes, and within these 4 schemes, if you have to prioritize, then Nifty and low vol ETF, I would say that would be a good combination.
Okay. Mr. Vimal Kumar is asking, how do we get dividends for these ETFs?
Initially, in few years, we used to pay dividend, but after 2 or 3 years, we have stopped paying dividend because it doesn't make sense paying dividend. As of in current year also, dividend will be taxable at slab rate. So it is preferable that you get a capital gain on it. Capital gain has a lower taxation rate. So we are not paying any dividend on it as of now.
Further to this question, if the ETF, if the company declares a dividend, how it is adjusted in the ETF scheme?
So whenever a company declares a dividend, that dividend part gets that fund flow happens in the scheme, and scheme in turn reinvest in those underlying stocks. So dividend basically gets reinvested. That's the reason if you could see Nifty is trading at a certain level, and ETFs are generally above the Nifty. ETFs are generally above the Nifty level, if you could see, which is not exactly 1/10 or 1/100 of the Nifty. So what happens is Nifty is ex dividend, which goes below, the index falls to that extent, whereas the ETF which is there gets the dividend in its scheme and gets reinvested. So normally there's a price difference between the Nifty and Nifty ETFs, and that is because of dividend.
Mr. Mahesh is asking, what are the tax liabilities for these ETF, both long term and short term?
So short term is now around 15%, which is chargeable, whereas long term is around 10%.
Okay. Mr. Ravi Kumar is asking, how much portion of the portfolio should we invest in smart beta ETF?
Smart beta, a higher portion should be invested in a smart beta. These are the safe products. These are safe strategy. And globally, we have seen the major money which goes into ETFs. A lot of portion goes into low vol ETF concept. So I would recommend a higher portion should go to this particular concept. What is the
tracking difference between an index fund and the ETF?
See, tracking generally, it's in all these ETF which are trading in market, tracking error is very low, and tracking error just shows that how different, what is the variance between the index and the ETF. So tracking error is generally close to around 10 basis point, which is there 10 to 15 basis point.
Okay. Anish is asking, what is the difference? We have heard a lot about actively managed and passively managed funds and all. So what is this actively managed and passively managed ETF?
Passively managed?
ETF. So what is active management?
Active management is basically there's one fund manager who takes a call on investment, 1 or 2 fund managers which will be there who will take a call on investment, and they will decide what the investment portion will be, what ratio the funds will be allocated to the stocks. So a lot of dependency which is there on one star fund manager which is there. If this star fund manager moves out of that fund or changes to other AMC, if he changes his job, there is always that possibility. Whereas ETFs is a methodology which is defined, which is already been that methodology which is on the piece of paper, and there is no intervention subsequently by any of the AMC by the fund manager. So methodology will define what stocks has to be invested. So there is no manual intervention as such. And we could see that a lot of investors, they will prefer this strategy over the active fund manager. So globally also, ETF, the passive fund piece, is now larger than active fund management.
So I think that's all with the questions that we have. Thank you, Nitin, for coming and sharing us your knowledge. And I hope we can see you more. For people who have joined in late and who are asking about where we can see this webinar again, so we'll be uploading this webinar on our YouTube channel, that is HDFC Securities. Just search for HDFC Securities on YouTube, and we will be hosting this webinar on the YouTube in a couple of hours. Thank you, Nitin, so much.
Thanks, Shyam. Thanks, Ganesh. Thanks.